Do you know who I am? I'm kind of a big deal.
Hello there, and welcome inside another edition. It is the Be More Baseball podcast. That smiling face over there is a 14-year MLB veteran. He is smiling. If you're listening, trust me, it is Mike Bordick. He's in the Orioles Hall of Fame. I'm Jerry Coleman. Every day we're producing brand new content on our X, Facebook, and Instagram page. It's all at one simple address, Be More Sports Pod. I'll say it slowly for the back of the room. Be More Sports Pod. That's where you can also watch us on YouTube, and you can also watch us with our partners at BaltimoreSun.com. Today, episode number 21, Bordy, we'll catch up with former Orioles coach. He's always got a lot to say. Can't wait to talk to Wayne Kirby. We'll also discuss, the Orioles back in the wild card race after an eventful time in Tampa Bay. They got the Yanks and the Rays coming in, and we'll look back at the life and times of Tommy John. But let's bring in our featured guests. All our guests are sponsored by Science and Kirk. Injured in an accident, you've got to call Science and Kirk. If you have a phone, you have a lawyer. Call 1-800-LAWYERS or visit youhavealawyer.com. Welcome in Orioles former coach Wayne Kirby. Wayne, so great to have you on the podcast. Let's start. Yeah, it's our honor, first of all. Well, let's just say that. It's our privilege. But I wanted to get your observations, maybe from a distance, on what you've seen from the Orioles this season. Still below 500, but here they are chasing a playoff spot.
Well, you know how this game is. You can get hot for 10 or 15 games and cool down, and it's the seesaw battle. I mean, this is the dog days of September coming up, and either you're going to shine or go home, one or the other.
Pretty simple. Absolutely. You're right. And there are a lot of teams, I think, in the American League that are kind of in that same kind of boat, I guess. But I got to go back in time here, Curb, real quick, because last week we had pretty exceptional honoree come into the Oriole Hall of Fame, and that was the Crusher, Chris Davis, man. And we got to see and remember of those teen years, right, from about 2012 to 2016. There were some fabulous players, but there was a great coaching staff put in place, and of course, Buck Showalter was ahead of that. But you were part of that as well. Tell us about that experience and how the team really came together in the teens.
Well, it started when I was over in Texas, and Buck was over in Texas, and I had coached Chris Davis, I coached Gentry, I saw O'Day, I saw Tommy Hunter, I saw everybody in the whole organization. I knew everybody in the whole organization, and Buck had asked me, he said, "Who would you get?" I said, "We need ready-made. We need a few ready-made people that want to get the heck out of Texas and come over here." And we got them. And the good thing about it, they knew how to play baseball. That was the whole key. They knew how to play baseball. We didn't have to teach them anything because they already been taught. And all they had to do was plug and play, and made it a lot easier for us coaches that we don't have to coach that much in the big leagues. Now everybody coaching in the big leagues. Ooh.
Wayne, I do want to ask you about defense. And with the Orioles, it's been up and down, mostly down this season, especially the outfield defense. I don't know, as an observer, sometimes maybe it's making you cringe, but what type of advice can you offer to an outfielder playing at Camden Yards?
Well, off the screen, the ball's going to kick to the left. I do know that much. And you got to go out there and work on it every day. You know what? It's one of those things where I understand analytics is taking over the game, but as a coach, I still have to do my homework. And there's nothing like true media. True media give you live things every day on everybody, where the ball is hitting, what pitch is thrown, how to do it, where they're hitting the ball. Usually a gap is open somewhere. And if you don't study that, I mean, it becomes a nightmare. So, and when I was with the Mets, I made an agreement. I was like, okay, you're going to do yours off the whatever you do off your model. I'm going to do mine off the true media. I want to see everything from 0-0 count to 3-2 count. I want to see where they're hitting the ball, where they're not hitting the ball. And we'll bring it together on the first day of that series. And whatever we didn't have together, we'll go back and check together and get it right. So I won't bark at you. You won't bark at me. No pointing the fingers. And it worked out real well.
If I could follow up on that though, you talk about working hard at improving the defense. To me, it's something like you can't get better during the regular season a whole lot because there's not a whole lot of a time that allows for that, as opposed to maybe.
Oh shit!
So you think the defense can improve during the season?
100%. It's hard work. It's not sitting in the cage all damn day. It's hard work. If you go out there and work and have your throws every day, the defense gonna get better. You got to go out there and understand how the grass is moving. Is it snaking? Is it fast? What? I mean, you got to understand what are you doing. It's like ground balls. Everybody's dirt is different. Everybody grass is different. You got to do something every day to get better on that field. That's why the other team have an advantage on you all the time. They know if I got a grass that's snaking, no, we taking ground balls. We definitely taking ground balls to understand that field that day, or what's the odds and end of this field. But I don't cop that. That's bullshit.
How do you push the guys though? You get them out there on the field and you explain the detail and what you have to do. How do you push them to make themselves better? Or is it just a matter of just going through and doing your drill? Or is there a higher level that has to be reached?
Well, my shit started in spring training. I told him this is non-negotiable. You got to talk to the manager. This is non-negotiable. We're gonna be good. If Markakis and Jones and Nate McLeod and all the outfielders can come out there and throw 2 days out of the 3-day set, we done our job. I can cut back in June or July when it get hot, but I got to get everything done before June or July so we can cut back and get ready for that last push.
That's understandable. So when you said go talk to the manager, I really gotta know this, man.
Well, you know me. I don't bullshit.
I know you don't bullshit. I know you don't bullshit at all.
I'm gonna get my work done. I'm gonna get my work done.
And is that one of the characteristics why Buck Showalter brought you everywhere he went? Is that he said you were one of the best coaches, a model professional coach. What did that mean to you?
I mean, it's high. It's a high reward, man. Working under Buck, he let me work. I didn't have any problem. He knew the job was gonna get done one way or the other. I used to have a thing. If you misthrew a ball or missed a ground ball, you know what that means the next day, boys. You got to come out and get some work. We got to fix it before it becomes a problem. We don't let it just linger on. We fix it before it's a problem. And they would try to call my bullshit, but they know I'm the bruiser. I'm the bruiser. This stuff that everybody want to hit and don't want to work. Forget that. Easier to be run up the flagpole, but they can run your ass back down too.
So I got to ask you. Did you approach players differently based on their stature or history? If you're dealing with an Adam Jones and trying to communicate something to him as opposed to a younger guy like a Colton Cowser, was there a different approach, different language maybe you used?
No, I don't discriminate. Same way. Why am I going to treat him different when we all on one team? I don't care if you make 30 million. I don't care if you make 10 million. I don't care if you make 700,000. You're gonna get treated the same way. You pull your end of the rope, and everybody else is gonna pull their end of the rope. We know that the $30 million guy is gonna get us where we need to go, but we also need that little Indian to pull his weight too.
Yeah, all the Indians got to be pulling. Speaking of Indians, Curb, you came up with the Cleveland Indians, right? Well, you were in the Dodgers organization.
Are you allowed to call them that?
No, well,
we can't because he played for them. He played for the Indians. He didn't play for the Guardians. All right,
Redskins too. All right,
okay.
All good.
But Curb. I know following your career, I know you struggled up through. You didn't struggle with the Dodgers, but you're just kind of blocked there. You got an opportunity with the Indians. Who in that Indians organization? Because that ended up being kind of a dynasty type organization, man. They were strong. Who was the voice? Was there a veteran player when you got in there, or a coach that helped kind of set the tone there?
Well, I mean, on the hitting side, it was Charlie Manuel. By far. We came to the ballpark knowing we could hit. that was that. And John Hart put together a team that was full of speed, defense, power. You couldn't get around us. You couldn't get around. The only thing was missing, I think we was missing maybe a ace top of the line pitcher, but everybody else, I mean, we had the Hershaw, Denny Martinez. I mean, we had guys that Charlie Nagy, we had guys that could pitch, and we had a bullpen. Our bullpen with Osamaker and Mason, all them guys coming out there. But we enjoyed playing the game. We was always a team. I mean, we'd be on the plane. Hey, where we going out to eat dinner? It'd be 16 or 17 of us. So it was always a team, and no one was above no one. Yeah, I mean, even Albert, we cuss his ass out too.
It's funny because I think, when we were talking about Chris Davis, it seemed like that team really became a nice unit. From 2012 into 16, I know there was an American League East title in there, and it seemed like that was really a close-knit group. And I think in large part, I thought the coaches were really close to the players as well. There was a lot of mutual respect in that clubhouse.
Well, I mean, a lot of coaches forget, and we got our homework. I do my homework at home so I can remember what I got to do. I don't need a sheet of paper to remember 12 hitters versus righties, 12 hitters versus lefties. I can go from 0-0 count to 3-2 count before you even put up your computer. That's the memorization I got. That's the student of the game I learned coming up. That team we had O'Day, Brock, CD, Scope, Manny. It was a great collection of good clubhouse guys. We didn't have a bad egg in that clubhouse. Sometimes a bad egg in that clubhouse would disrupt everything. We didn't have it, and the culture in that clubhouse was unbelievable. Family.
Hey, Wayne, I did want to ask you, you mentioned a little bit about some of these outfielders and sometimes infielders. I see them reach into their back pocket. They pull out the index card. But your thoughts on seeing that? Because I don't recall seeing that 10 years ago in baseball.
Once you see one hitter one time, you're in the same pictures out there. Why do I need to read it again? and I mean, it's just it's the new era. Memorization was a big part of our lives. It's not theirs. They want to be handed everything. They want to do a lot of things, and I always tell my son, try to remember where these guys hit the ball at. Remember that somebody got to call their name and their number and understand where they're hitting the ball at. You don't need that all the damn time. One time around, that's it. Now, when a different pitcher come in, it's okay. I mean, shoot, we had 53 errors and didn't need it the whole year.
Nice. Yeah.
Huh?
No, it's what I think is kind of a lost art, I guess, in today's game is they're taking the instinct away from the player. You're right. And I think when you become an instinctual player, sure, you might want to look at the card, but then you see the hitter and what he's doing. Is his bat dragging, or you can recognize pitches, things like that. So you can anticipate a little bit better. Mm-hmm. And I'm speaking from an infield standpoint, but I think that holds true in the outfield as well, Wayne.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I'm going to give you a little story. We had played when I was with the Mets. We had played Philly early April, and then we didn't play them back to June, right? And I mean, it's two stories. It was one against Milwaukee, where both of them Max Scherzer was the pitcher, and I'm doing my report, my analytics myself on the hitters, and it was Victor Caratini with Milwaukee. And Max said, I know he's going to hit the ball the other way. I know he's going to hit the ball the other way. I said, Max, he's pulling the ball. He got up on the plate. That's something different. I said, if you throw that ball outside, he's going to pull you in the gap, and we're going to get burned. And I'll be damn it, did it. He did it. And he said, dang on Kirk. So about a month later, we went into Philly, and I was doing everybody. I go back from my last report to the upcoming report. And I looked at JT Realmuto and I said, something ain't right. So I went back and I'm looking at his swing. So I know JT Realmuto, I'm going to play him 3 steps in the gap, 3 right field, side center field, 3 steps to the line. I already know where I'm going to play JT Realmuto. I do know that. So I got back and I looked at it. All for 2 months, he hit 3 balls to right field. So that tells me he did something. Him and Kevin Long did something with his swing. So he started pulling the ball. So I told Max, me and Max were going through the scouting report. I said, Max, we're going to play JT pull. He said, you sure? I said, 100%. The first ball he hit was down in left field. We caught it.
Nice. Nice.
So, like you said, the field part of it. We understand the feel part of it. We got to be our own man. Sometimes when Adam knew a hitter more than me, he'd go, I got this. And he'll move the outfield instead of this versus this. And the field is gone. You got to have the field.
And it's good to have that communication, in-game communication, right? Because I remember Curb being up in the booth and looking down and seeing you like whipping a towel, trying to get an outfielder's attention to move. Right. And you take one or two steps in the right direction. Right. It could be a game-saving play.
100%. 100%. I used to tell Adam, he got to look at me every pitch. Yeah. Something could change. I remember Dave Wallace, Dom, Rickadere, and Roger, all the pitching coaches, something would change in the game and say, hey, man, we're going to switch up on this guy. So we're going to pitch him away. And all of a sudden, I got to get the outfield to understand we're going to do that. And the infield guy, Bobby, had to get the infielders to understand we're going this way now. Yeah. So, it's just staying on the same page. Now I can't get in trouble because we're pitching them away. Now I can change my defense around. And no, you don't. We don't have the mics in our ears to change the outfield defense. You got to be going right away. Sometimes these guys get in the, you got fans behind you talking junk, and all of a sudden you forget a 2-striker post. This guy gonna hit the ball out right field line, 2 strikes, and you over there playing around with the fans. Come on, not move it.
Yeah. Hey Wayne, what was the one piece of advice you would give to a incoming outfielder playing for the Orioles about handling the dimensions of Camden Yards? Was there one thing that stuck out that you would pass along to that person?
No, it depends on if you're playing right field, left field. That doesn't change the dimensions in left field over there. The right field has always been the same. The only hard thing about the right field is the corner. When that ball get in that little corner there, the cutoff man has got to be towards second base because you can't throw it over the stands. You know that little corner down there, Mike? You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the second baseman can't go all the way down. Hey, you got to stay out there so he can see it. And other than that, man, my advice to every outfielder, secure the ball and catch the ball on the right foot. And what I mean, catch the ball on the glove foot, not the other foot. Catch the ball on the glove foot.
Curb, is there a difference between when a guy gets called up from the minor leagues? And I distinctly remember hearing you say, man, there's another level to these big league stadiums you got to get used to. What did you mean by that?
Third deck.
Yeah.
We never play with a third deck. We never play with people behind us. That's a little nerve-wracking, man. That's going in Yankee Stadium and people playing behind, and you got fans behind you talking about your family and talking about everything. Yeah. And understanding the third deck. So an outfielder in the minor leagues, when the ball is hit, he stands straight up. In the big leagues, when the ball is up, we go down. The good outfielders go down so we can track it all the way up and get a good read on it. If you stand up straight, you're done. You're going to get a late break, like everything. Everything's going to be late. And when you stand down, that ball goes up. You freeze for a second to see what the ball's going to do, and then, boom, you're gone. You're in our back. The good outfielders, you saw Andrew Jones and all them. They didn't stand up. They're jumping like, I see you.
He was a shortstop, Curb. He was a shortstop growing up.
Yeah, but just think about it. When you're in center field, all you see is white. Yeah. All you see is white. And all of a sudden you see that, and all of a sudden you see the ball just disappear. I want to see the ball get to its apex quick as possible to make a decision. And guys, these guys in the minor leagues, they're not used to that. I looked at Carl Crawford. He's having the young Crawford, he's having a hard time with his reads. He's fast as hell, but he's having a hard time with his reads. And a lot of people don't understand the basic fundamental of outfield. They think everybody can play the outfield. Bullshit. When it drops out there, it's 2. So you got to understand that's where the fundamentals come in. Everybody forget about the fundamentals. Oh, let's go out there and do this. Let's go out there and do that. No, bullshit. The first thing will happen is the infield catching ground balls, we're going to catch ground balls. If the infield throwing, we're going to throw. It's on the same page. You have to keep it on the same page. We have to be good at what we do. We have to be good at hitting a cutoff, man, 110 feet. We have to master that. If we can't master that, if we can't master securing the baseball, then what good is it? And like Mike said, what's the difference between the minor leagues and the big leagues? Billions and billions of dollars. It doesn't matter you get a little error down there. It doesn't matter if you get a little error down there. That ain't gonna affect you. You'll be all right, Johnny, you're good. No, up there, shit. No, man. If you look bad, I'm gonna look bad. So we gotta straighten this shit out now. And maybe they don't like the way we teach or how we taught or whatever. But I can tell you one thing: is a branch of trees at the NFL that everybody done went from. The Parcells, the Belichicks, and that tree is gone. I'm so proud of the guys I coach that's still in the big league, coaching first base, third base, whatever. They still call and ask questions.
Yeah. That's great. Last thing I have for you, this ABS system.
Really?
Which is
one last thing?
Yeah, it is the last thing, Wayne.
Wow.
We have a podcast. We have to finish off.
You got to go for a bike ride today, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Did it.
But this ABS system, I got to ask you about this. And how long do you think we see this implemented? Maybe in the it's upcoming right now, the Little League World Series. You think the 12-year-olds will be using the robotic umpire soon enough?
Hey, man. Everything is changing, man. Who knows? All I know when my son went to Little League, they said they go white line to white line. Can you imagine how long those games gonna be?
Oh my gosh, right?
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Let the little kids have fun.
I hear you. Yeah, you can't ABS a strike zone in Little League. Oh my gosh, it'd be a 5-hour game.
You're like,
one more thing. This is not a Little League question now.
Okay.
The A's are coming to Las Vegas, baby. Are you going to be a part of that Las Vegas athletics system?
I hope my son is.
Oh, okay. That would be fun. And what's the talk there in Vegas about the Las Vegas?
How's it going to work? How's it going to work in Sin City?
Is it going to be good? The Las Vegas athletics, are going to be good?
I don't know. Let's hope. They got a lot of support around here, just like the football team, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what? This is what I think. Analytics is only good as a player. If you got good players, the analytics gonna work. That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. I just remember things. It's kind of hard. I remember things. You can win with 2 or 3 rookies. You can win with maybe two top of the line pitcher, 2 hitters. You ain't gonna win with 3 or 4 of them. No, it's hard. It's hard. You only can go to a certain point. That gets you to a certain point. When that nut cutting time comes, woo.
You got a favorite this year? You got a favorite this year in the postseason?
Me?
Yeah.
I got nobody, man. I just look. I look. I talked to Machado about 2 months ago and asked him what the hell he was doing. And I'm like, man, what the hell are you doing? I'm like, ooh. Oh, man.
Did you get him going? How's he doing today?
He's getting better. He's getting better. We talked about it. I mean, it's just everybody's looking for an edge, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean, look at you playing shortstop all these years, Bordy. I mean, you did the same routine every day because there wasn't nothing wrong with it, was it?
No.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm hitting 280, 290, why would I go home and try to change something?
Well, you're not broke, so we can't fix you, Wayne. We do appreciate you chiming in.
Look at that. You finally got a good hairstyle.
This toupee's holding on well, man. Toupee has been holding on.
Gorilla Glue. We're sponsored by Gorilla Glue.
I want to try one sometime.
Why?
Why? Because mine looks straight. I mean, I
And
could
let me
trade.
tell you something, black don't crack, kid.
Never does. Never does. All right, you be well, Wayne. Thank
Love you, Curb. Thanks for coming on, man.
Appreciate it, brother.
It was
All
our
right,
privilege. All right, there he goes, Wayne Kirby. Never short on words.
Oh, I love him, man. Love him.
Love Kirby.
To help explain how much fun I have playing Fast Play Home Run Riches from the Maryland Lottery, I brought in a home plate umpire. When I have the chance to win instant cash, it makes me feel far out. And if I'm selected as contestant of the game, I can win $500 plus another $500 for every Orioles.
Home run!
And $5,000 for every Grand Slam. Doesn't it make you wanna
Play ball!
make the right call this season and play Home Run Riches from the Maryland Lottery?
Hey, it's Jerry Coleman. I'm conducting this podcast from the extremely climate-controlled studios, all built by the Comfort guys at Farnan and Dermer. The one thing I can tell you is if or when your AC or heating unit breaks down or gives you issues, these guys are responsive that day. Repairs done the same day, and they rapidly install by the next day. It's as important to them as it is to you. Same-day repairs is everything. Imagine like I did, your AC blows out. Well, within hours, I had someone evaluating the situation. And after 20 years, it was time for a new unit. The next day, I was in comfort, thanks to the Comfort guys. There's a reason they've been around since 1902, folks. They also offer flexible payment options. Jot this number down because eventually you'll need it. 410-367-7777. That's 410-367-7777. Farnan and Dermer, the Comfort guys with same-day service.
Here's something the car insurance companies don't want you to know. If you've been injured in a car accident, the insurance companies are already working against you. They have a team full of agents whose job is to give you as little as possible. That's why you need an experienced lawyer. Science & Kirk has been fighting for accident victims for over 50 years. They know how to handle the insurance companies and know how to get you maximum compensation. Don't go it alone. Remember, you have a lawyer. Call Science & Kirk today or visit youhavealawyer.com.
Shop Maryland's largest adult use and medical cannabis menu located at 1114 Cathedral Street in Baltimore, with medical delivery available throughout Maryland 7 days a week, only at Relief Shop.
The Good Feet store is partnering with the Baltimore Orioles to give one lucky winner and their guests an unforgettable VIP game day experience. The grand prize package includes 14 suite tickets to the Orioles versus the Red Sox on September 3rd at Camden Yards, 4 parking passes, free food and beverage in the suite, official Orioles merchandise, batting practice access for 4 prior to the game, and an on-field game ball delivery experience. And it's easy to enter. Go to Orioles.com/GoodFeetStoreSweeps.
Cravings can strike at any time, and Royal Farms is ready to fuel your mornings with fresh brewed coffee, paired with protein-packed breakfast sandwiches and a side of those crispy hash browns. And when the midday hunger hits, bite into a world-famous chicken sub, loaded with flavor and leveled up with a side of Western fries. And when it's time to bring home a crowd pleaser, don't miss out on our world-famous chicken meals, hand-breaded and a hit with the whole family. Whenever you crave, Royal Farms is ready.
Effective Solutions, your one-stop shop for commercial contracting. Everything from excavation and site development to emergency remediation and restoration. Effective Solutions specializes in many forms of commercial and mixed-use construction. With a dedicated staff and a commitment to quality, Effective Solutions delivers every time.
Looking for a great place to watch the game, bet the races, and get in on the action without heading to the big city? Head to Greenmount OTB in Hampstead, where the action is always on. Watch every game and race on more than 40 big screen TVs while wagering on live horse racing or the big game at the Bet Park Sportsbook. You can bet at the window, at a kiosk, or right from your phone with the Bet Parks mobile app. And grab great food from Greenmount Station, home of Maryland's best crab cakes. Then keep the fun going next door at Greenmount Bowl. Greenmount OTB. Big time action in a hometown setting. 21 and over only. Please play responsibly. For help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, move on to For the Birds, sponsored by our friends at the Maryland Lottery. Play Home Run Riches from the Maryland Lottery. You could win instantly or win cash for Orioles home runs. As a contestant of the game, as always, please play responsibly. Well, Bordy, the Orioles, they're really back in the wild card race. I mean, they've sort of been in it for a while, but after taking 3 or 4 in Tampa, they have a very important stretch ahead at Camden Yards with the Yankees coming to town and then the Rays. And a lot of people think this will decide what happens with them in the wild card in the season, but it has been a topsy-turvy year, to say the least. And I have to tell you, that series against the Rays was a bit perplexing. I didn't see that coming, but there they were, taking 3 or 4 from the top team in the American League.
Yeah, it has been more of a turvy, I think, season, really, for the Orioles anyway. Sub 500 all season long. And I think we've all been disappointed, but the American League stayed stagnant. Everybody's been a bad team, pretty much, in the American League. So the Orioles have been able to stay relevant to this point. So they had a great series against Tampa, but the 2 series before they had lost. They lost the 2 series on the road, and then all of a sudden they put in a really good series against Tampa. And I'm not discounting this at all. I'm just saying it's kind of the same team. They were just fortunate, and they played up to play against Tampa. But this does have a different feel right now. And I think it's only because over the weekend, the Orioles literally got into the playoffs. They were a playoff team. So it makes us all feel, oh my gosh, we've got a chance. Whether they're sub 500 or not, at least they're in the playoffs. And I think that might be enough motivational factor to get Baltimore fans, Oriole fans, back into supporting this team and that clubhouse to start playing better baseball. Listen, it's right in front of them, and all they have to do is play consistent. It's encouraging that their offense is starting to fire a little bit more consistently. And I think as we look into it, guys like Tyler O'Neill, who's been literally non-existent, has all of a sudden become one of the best hitters in the American League. Can this be sustainable for the rest of the season? Well, let's hope. Kobe Mayo's hitting balls farther than any human being in the world right now. Let's hope he can stay consistent. Gunnar has become a part of the offense again, although maybe not to full force, but enough to make an impact. And of course, we cannot overlook Encarnacion Strand. I mean, what a pickup. This guy's got more RBIs than games played almost to this point right now. And of course, Alonso's doing his thing. What a great offseason signing. So some good things happening, enough to get the Oriole fan base, I think, energized. And here the Yankees are in town, and then Tampa comes right back in. Who knows where the Orioles could be in a week?
Regarding Pete Alonso, I want to get to him, but I still have concerns about the bullpen until they get their closer back, if they get their closer back. Also, the defense. We talked about that with Wayne Kirby. I don't know how much better that's going to get, but I am encouraged by the way that Pete Alonso has stepped up and led this team. He has been everything as advertised and a whole lot more. The consecutive game streak stays intact. He's not going to miss a day no matter how he's feeling. He sets the tone each and every day that you better be ready to play when you come to the ballpark, because he is. And let's face it, he doesn't have the best baseball body, but he performs at an unbelievable level. I mean, since May 1st, he's been as hot as anyone in Major League Baseball. And again, a lot of harsh things have been said about Mike Elias on this podcast and elsewhere, but he deserves a ton of credit for bringing in the polar bear.
No, I agree, man. He has not disappointed at all. Incredible Gold Glove caliber first base, I think, which is probably the most appealing thing, I think, to a lot of Oriole fans, because everybody heard he was a subpar defender. Here he is stepping up, really saving this team in many cases. But the offensive play has just been exceptional. He's got more, I think, opposite field home runs than anybody in the game right now at 13. I mean, he's hitting balls left and right. He was just coming off the player of the week. So just a huge contributor. And you know what's even more important, I think, is he always says the right thing. This dude is a marketing marvel. He's a superstar. He says the right things to encourage the fan base. He says the right things to encourage his teammates. You don't hear negative stuff. He takes the weight of a mistake on his own shoulders. He knows who he is as a player. And man, oh man, is it exciting to watch him do his thing right now. And I really think because of him and his consistent play, it's helped keep this team where it is. And it's still sub 500, but it's in the playoff picture. Okay, so yeah, Pete Alonso, a lot of credit on that regard. I know you mentioned the bullpen. It's kind of, I think bullpens are so volatile in the major leagues, and it shows all the time. A guy will get released. Next thing you know, he's a superstar with another team's bullpen. And that happens with the Orioles a lot. And they're riding a young guy right now, Cam Sanders, getting a great opportunity. Yeah, and he's really doing a good job. So there are guys that are stepping up as other guys wane. So I think there's that ebb and flow in a bullpen. And hopefully guys can hit at the same time and really have a nice extended run. The mystery and something that we've talked about before, the back end, man, it would be nice if they could lock in a couple guys to trust every night, say, okay, it's going to be you and you to slam this door and shorten this game.
Yeah, I just hope CES and these guys that have come out of nowhere to produce can keep it going into October.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. I mean, isn't that the question mark, right? So why do teams give up on guys? Do they not see consistency? But I look at it as this, and I think the Orioles have put themselves in a pretty good position where if you give guys opportunities, some guys hit, man, and they ride a wave of confidence, and I'm glad I got my opportunity. We saw it early in the season with Jeremiah Jackson, right? He went on a 2-month heater that was really special. Blaze Alexander, and now Encarnacion Strand, getting these opportunities for these guys. And who knows where it could go? Encarnacion Strand was a stud, man, coming out of college, but then he had some setbacks with injuries. So the Orioles pretty fortunate to have him and riding this nice wave of success.
All right, let's move along to Baltimore and beyond, brought to you by Relief Shop, Baltimore's best adult use and medical cannabis dispensary with 700-plus unique menu items, and home delivery is always available for medical patients, courtesy of Relief Shop. They're right there in the heart of Charm City on Cathedral Street. Connor Welton won't deliver to your house, but one of his people will. All right, well, Tommy John passed away, and we're lucky to have Joel LaFlamme on to talk to us about it, who is an accomplished screenwriter, and you had been working with Tommy John on the screenplay. First of all, did I get the last name correct?
Absolutely. You nailed it. Thank you so much.
Thanks for being here. So Tommy John, to me, he was patient zero, sort of a guinea pig in a way, in that Dr. Frank Jobe went ahead and operated on this guy after he had this arm injury, and he didn't know what the outcome was going to be. What the outcome was a medical miracle in some ways, and a surgery that was made infamous because of him. What can you tell us about his thought process going into that and how overwhelmed he was with how it all came out?
Well, I'm going to talk about it from kind of a film standpoint, because I really think that it is an incredible story, not just for baseball fans, but for fans of any big, amazing comeback story. And for Dr. Jobe, that situation goes all the way back to Sandy Koufax. He was the orthopedic surgeon for the Dodgers when Sandy Koufax had to retire at 31. And Sandy Koufax was the type of guy to say, you know what, my elbow's barking at me. If my UCL tears, I'm going to be disabled for the better part of my life. I'm going to call it quits here. So he calls it quits at 31. And Dr. Jobe, I feel, was always tormented by that because he had no solution. He had no way to save arguably one of the greatest pitchers of all time, right? And they were both Jewish, so that was a cultural thing for him too at the same time. Mm-hmm. And then 8 years later, Tommy John was he had a different mentality to it, because he was going to pitch until that arm exploded. He felt that pain for a decade. That pain had been there, and he consistently went out. I think he had something like 45 to 50 cortisone injections, up to the point where his elbow blew up. So he's dulling the pain, numbing the pain, just to be able to go out every 5 days and perform. And then eventually the damage just got so much. It's so funny because today in the game, we see that injury will come out of nowhere because guys are throwing 103, 104 miles an hour. Back in Tommy John's day, that was a wear and tear injury that took 15 years to build up. So it's so interesting how in the past that injury, it was a 10, 15-year injury of consistently pitching 250 innings every year. And now you get guys drafted and their elbows snap a couple weeks later. So it's such a situation where you can run a car for 100,000 miles, or you can run it red line one time around the track, and the same amount of damage can happen. It can be a short-term injury, or it used to be a very, very long-term injury. So yeah, for Tommy John, it's to me, it's one of those elements of the game where I wrote the script because my goal was to get him in the Hall of Fame before he passed away. And I'm really heartbroken that did not end up happening, because when I look at the cultural impacts that like a Jackie Robinson, a Clemente, a Hank Greenberg, Joe DiMaggio, Hideo Nomo, those guys, and the cultural impact that they had across the world, what Tommy had an impact on was not cultural, it was everyone, right? He saved how many careers? How many amazing careers are we looking at? We wouldn't have Shohei Ohtani pulling double duty. We wouldn't have Justin Verlander's third Cy Young. We wouldn't have the second half of John Smoltz's career. Like, there's so many amazing careers. Jacob deGrom's had two, right? So it's like maybe much of this amazing three. Is it three now? I know so. Drew Rasmussen's had three, and he's 30, right? Yeah. So it's just like
it's all too common now. Yep. 40, go ahead.
No, it is amazing. And you know what I think is amazing? How you alluded to the fact that, guys are throwing so hard, they're blowing out so fast. Mm-hmm. Tommy John ended up winning over 160 games after the surgery. It was unbelievable. He pitched for like 14 more years. These guys now are getting Tommy John and they're blowing out 4 years later. Kind of the same reference there.
It was so wild because his surgery arguably is the most successful one. Right. The first one is arguably the most successful Tommy John surgery because his, like you said, 164 wins after, 288 in total. Think about this, 188 no decisions, the most no decisions by a boatload. And he was on a last place Chicago White Sox team for a 10-year span to start his career. If he was on a contender the entire time, you're talking about a 340 game winner. You're talking about a guy who's first ballot Hall of Fame under the understanding of what it is to be a Hall of Fame pitcher in that time period, but 288 no decisions. And then the other stat that I love is Jim Cott has something like 450 induced double plays at second place. Tommy John has 612. Imagine
it's interesting because Jim Cott, Bert Blyleven, all these guys around him, they're in the Hall of Fame.
They're in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
612. That's 1,224 outs on double plays.
Incredible.
Right? It's just insane to think of. And then the mentality of that too, which is something that we don't talk about, is that Tommy John was throwing 87 before, he was throwing 87 after. In the interim of him being out of the game, that's when Nolan Ryan threw that first radar pitch, was when Tommy John was hurt so he came back 18 months later, and all of a sudden the radar gun is everywhere. All of a sudden, velocity is something that we tangibly use to figure out whether you're good or not. So he came back at 34, feeling healthy, throwing the way he had thrown for the previous 12, 13 years. And they were like, well, you're only throwing 87. He's like, how fast was I throwing before? He's like, you're judging me now. I feel great. I think I can go get out. So he really had to prove himself again because the game had fundamentally changed overnight while he was out with that injury.
He pitched for so long. He was like 46 years old. He pitched until he was 46 years old. Pretty amazing stuff right there. But herein lies the question. If he hadn't had Tommy John surgery, he would have had well over 300 wins, right?
Yes.
So he would have easily been in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, missing that 18 months, he was on the Dodgers. I think his win percentage at that time was something like 720. He was going like 14. He was leading the league in wins at that time. I think he was 14-3 when he went down in 1973, 1974. So it was just like, it's really insane to think of the way that they would judge a player was very much wins. If you got to 300 wins back then, and who's getting to 288 now?
Oh, no.
Right? Nobody's getting to 288 anymore. So to me, he belongs in the Hall of Fame, even if he would have been the second guy to get the surgery or the fifth guy to get the surgery, right? If he wasn't the pioneer, first guy down the road to bring so many pitchers back, I think his career resume still puts him in, which is
how did Tommy feel about was he mystified about the proliferation of Tommy John surgeries? And mostly not only even with major leaguers anymore. We're seeing kids in little league and high school level do it. Was he a little bit thrown off by that? And did he ever get a cut from those Tommy John jeans people?
No, I don't know about was it underwear company?
I thought it was a blue jeans company.
Oh, they may do both.
I see them around, and I'm like, kids, you don't understand. There used to be a pitcher by that name.
Exactly. The thing that he always told me, which was kind of shocking, was that pitchers didn't reach out to him. Is that he never heard from pitchers who had Tommy John, and because he was very willing to share his experiences with those guys. But I don't know, maybe I think that what had happened maybe in more recent memory was Tommy John was a soft tossing lefty. So maybe a lot of the injuries have been way more, power pitchers. It seems like a much more of short-term power pitcher injury than it was everyone injury back in those days, because like I said, it was your durability and your ability to throw 200 plus innings back then that would tire out that arm, and now it's so much more of a sprint. So yeah, I think that was the one thing that kind of always shocked him, is that he wasn't getting 150 guys were going down a year with Tommy John, and he wasn't getting any phone calls about it. So,
you know what's interesting? You say that, and I only am just going to allude to the old school kind of mentality, because a guy like Sandy Koufax, what he said, he didn't want to, end his career. And I'm not saying the guys were worried about ending their careers, but they're worried about all of a sudden being considered hurt, and so they wouldn't have an opportunity to play. And there was something real about not going into the training room, because you could be labeled as a training room guy, or you can't make the club in the tub kind of thing too. Nowadays, guys are encouraged, if they have any kind of pain, to get checked. Oh, my elbow hurts a little bit, and they go in and they find a tear. and then all of a sudden they get Tommy John surgery or whatever, PRP injections to try to fix it. But it's just recognized sooner.
I really think that one of the big issues is that for him, it was a last chance. It was a miracle surgery. They gave him a 1 in 100 odds to ever pitch back in the majors again, because they didn't know. And then the crazy thing is, he had 2 surgeries. That first surgery happened. He started to rehab. He still felt pain. And what happened was, when they went in a second time, they realized that his ulnar nerve was incredibly damaged. So they moved the ulnar nerve to the exterior of the elbow from the interior. And then from that moment on, he pitched another 14, 15 seasons, and he said he never felt pain ever again. There was never any pain in the elbow after that second procedure to move the nerve that was really causing the pain, right? So he was kind of foundational in not just the practice of repairing the ligament, but moving the nerve to the opposite side of the elbow to cut down on the pain. And the way I kind of look at it is that for him and for so many pitchers back then, they knew that once that UCL tore, it was over. Now it's a safety blanket. Now it's pitching with a net of like, oh, it's okay. Go until you blow it out. Then you'll have 18 months off, and then you'll come back. And I always thought that was one of the most insane things that you could ever put upon these pitchers, was like, I guess a mentality of mine is how you can effectively use your pitches. If you throw 95 nowadays, if you locate up and in, that 95 plays as 100, but they don't tell you to learn the location of maximizing 95. They say get to 100, right? Yeah. So it's that mentality of like, well, you've got really good stuff. You've got stuff that's going to get outs. You're going to be able to play healthy in the major leagues and be good come October when we need you. You're not going to be some coin flip injury risk. The way that's the thing about aces these days is you spend $300 million on one, but hey, he may miss the next 2 years, depending on if he gets hurt and when he gets hurt. Right. So it's a situation where I've always kind of been against that radar judgment of a pitcher, because you're looking for a static number to determine whether he can get outs or not. And I feel like that Tommy John surgery, it's great in case it happens, but we shouldn't be pitching to the point of expecting it to happen.
Joe, last thing for you. Do you think there will be now a push, now that he has unfortunately passed away, for Tommy John to get into the Hall of Fame? And where do things stand with your film? Is that still in the works?
Well, I was actually, I was talking a little bit to the family over the last few days, and I hate to say that his passing is one of those situations where an artist isn't truly appreciated until they're gone. So it breaks my heart, because like I said, my goal this entire time was to get his flowers while he was still alive. Right. And now I have a feeling that passing it's going to galvanize a lot of people. I can really see a lot of pitchers coming together and just, making something out of it, to look at themselves in the mirror and say, hey, I wouldn't have signed that 6-year deal if I wouldn't have had Tommy John. I wouldn't be pitching if I wouldn't have had Tommy John. So I really have a feeling that this, how tragic it is, will be that final piece into his final enshrinement in Cooperstown.
Well, you're right. He's a trailblazer. I mean, all these pitchers you're referring to, they owe a debt of gratitude to Tommy John. No doubt about it.
You got that right.
And let's not forget Corey Seager, Salvador Perez, Bryce Harper, Max Muncy. Let's not Paul Molitor, the first his Paul Molitor, that's the first Hall of Famer to get Tommy John, was a position player. So yeah, it's really interesting. We all think that it's a pitching surgery, but there have been countless hitters to get this surgery and come back.
No, you're right about that. Joel, thanks for being with us. Joel LaFlamme. We'll look for the, hopefully the picture comes out soon. We'll have you back on.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks, Joel. Appreciate it.
To help explain how much fun I have playing Fast Play Home Run Riches from the Maryland Lottery, I brought in a home plate umpire. When I have the chance to win instant cash, it makes me feel far
Out!
And if I'm selected as contestant of the game, I can win $500 plus another $500 for every Orioles.
Home run!
And $5,000 for every Grand Slam. Doesn't it make you wanna
Play ball!
make the right call this season and play Home Run Riches from the Maryland Lottery?
Hey, it's Jerry Coleman. I'm conducting this podcast from the extremely climate-controlled studios, all built by the Comfort guys at Farnan and Dermer. The one thing I can tell you is if or when your AC or heating unit breaks down or gives you issues, these guys are responsive that day. Repairs done the same day, and they rapidly install by the next day. It's as important to them as it is to you. Same-day repairs is everything. Imagine like I did, your AC blows out. Well, within hours, I had someone evaluating the situation. And after 20 years, it was time for a new unit. The next day, I was in Comfort, thanks to the Comfort guys. There's a reason they've been around since 1902, folks. They also offer flexible payment options. Jot this number down because eventually you'll need it. 410-367-7777. That's 410-367-7777. Farnan and Dermer, the Comfort guys with same-day service.
Here's something the car insurance companies don't want you to know. If you've been injured in a car accident, the insurance companies are already working against you. They have a team full of agents whose job is to give you as little as possible. That's why you need an experienced lawyer. Science & Kirk has been fighting for accident victims for over 50 years. They know how to handle the insurance companies and know how to get you maximum compensation. Don't go it alone. Remember, you have a lawyer. Call Science & Kirk today or visit youhavealawyer.com.
Shop Maryland's largest adult use and medical cannabis menu located at 1114 Cathedral Street in Baltimore, with medical delivery available throughout Maryland 7 days a week, only at Relief Shop. The Good Feet store is partnering with the Baltimore Orioles to give one lucky winner and their guests an unforgettable VIP game day experience. The grand prize package includes 14 suite tickets to the Orioles versus the Red Sox on September 3rd at Camden Yards, 4 parking passes, free food and beverage in the suite, official Orioles merchandise, batting practice access for 4 prior to the game, and an on-field game ball delivery experience. And it's easy to enter. Go to Orioles.com/GoodFeetStoreSweeps.
Cravings can strike at any time, and Royal Farms is ready to fuel your mornings with fresh brewed coffee, paired with protein-packed breakfast sandwiches and a side of those crispy hash browns. And when the midday hunger hits, bite into a world-famous chicken sub, loaded with flavor and leveled up with a side of Western fries. And when it's time to bring home a crowd pleaser, don't miss out on our world-famous chicken meals, hand-breaded and a hit with the whole family. Whenever you crave, Royal Farms is ready.
Effective Solutions, your one-stop shop for commercial contracting. Everything from excavation and site development to emergency remediation and restoration. Effective Solutions specializes in many forms of commercial and mixed-use construction. With a dedicated staff and a commitment to quality, Effective Solutions delivers every time.
Looking for a great place to watch the game, bet the races, and get in on the action without heading to the big city? Head to Greenmount OTB in Hampstead, where the action is always on. Watch every game and race on more than 40 big screen TVs while wagering on live horse racing or the big game at the Bet Park Sportsbook. You can bet at the window, at a kiosk, or right from your phone with the Bet Parks mobile app. And grab great food from Greenmount Station, home of Maryland's best crab cakes. Then keep the fun going next door at Greenmount Bowl. Greenmount OTB. Big time action in a hometown setting. 21 and over only. Please play responsibly. For help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, much appreciation to our sponsors. Did want to mention the passing of Donald Science, the founder of Science & Kirk, great sponsor of ours, great baseball and football fan in Baltimore, one of the legendary attorneys in Baltimore. So rest in peace to Donald Science. Until next time, be real, be kind, and make sure to be back for another episode. It is the Be More Baseball podcast.